Okay, Tuesday, March 22nd, and we are in the middle of a air raid siren. Now, I didn't go to the garage today. It's just too early in the morning, and I think most of this has to do with what's going on in the east of Ukraine, in the Kherson and Mariupol and Kiev regions. There must be some air activity tripping off the alarms right now. Yesterday, though, a military facility, I believe, near the Rivne airport was hit with some cruise missiles, but some of them were shot down. I don't have the exact numbers or details. I just heard through the feeds and open source media that Ukraine is getting better at this, getting much better at the air defense, missile to missile defense. So that's very encouraging news. The gym started to reopen at 9 a.m. The supermarkets, it's still a lottery. They still have things, and then they sometimes don't have things. So yesterday they were full of cookies and chocolates, but the fruits were a little bit off, a little bit old. They didn't have, they only had the expensive rice. They had some basmati rice from India that was like 3 times the price of like usual rice there. So, but the rice cakes were abundant. They had a lot of variety of rice cakes yesterday. So it's all over the place. The vegetables have been okay. Vegetables are locally grown, locally supplied. So I think, and they're coming into season now. And potatoes are abundant. So I mean, the basic foods are okay. And we got turkey meat. We managed to get some turkey, which is pretty healthy. And so I think as long as you're not like looking to make a gourmet meal or be Gordon Ramsay or something, I think the food situation, logistics situation might even be improving. They might have found some workarounds. It's not, the supermarkets are not looking as bad as they were like a few weeks ago. So I'm having less nerves about, potential civil unrest of food shortages here in Western Ukraine. Now, I know Eastern Ukraine, it's another story because the Russians are not allowing the resupply of food and supplies, and Russian soldiers are stealing all the humanitarian aid. And it's probably part of their new strategy. I read in some of the Telegram feeds, and it might even been in CNN or Fox, I believe, that the Russians are changing their strategy. They know they cannot capture a city of million plus people, even let alone 500,000 residents. So they're switching to a siege tactic where they close off the city from resupply, try to surround it, and then shell the city, shell the civilians. I don't think they openly said that, but that's probably what the military analysts are noticing. I've sort of noticed that too. And we probably could have expected that, a shift in strategy to, put pressure on the civilians, to put pressure on the politicians to bring this thing to a quick resolution. Again, negotiating by holding a gun to your opposing party's head. That's a really nice way to negotiate. But it's looking like that we're entering a new era of siege warfare. So the big worry here for Lviv is like if the Belarusians, cross the border and get within, 60 U.S. miles, 100 kilometers of the city, they will just start shelling indiscriminately. And, that'll put people into a frenzy, and, it's not good. And they definitely need more of those switchblade drones. That's probably the ideal weapon to deal with the artillery. The artillery pieces. They only got 100 of them, but they probably need like 10 times, 100 times of that to deal with all these low tech, low cost artillery pieces. World War II. Although now they just sounded the second alarm, so the air raid alert is over. But yeah, so we're seeing more of this kind of medieval tactics, to bring Ukraine to its knees. But we live in the 21st century, and we have drones, and we have very skilled Ukrainian soldiers, very skilled snipers, both Ukrainian and foreign snipers here. that should be able to disrupt the leadership and disrupt the flow of resupply to these artillery pieces, and then also using the new technology to take out the artillery itself. I understand that the Ukrainian army is doing shoot to kill of artillery soldiers, that they will not be captured. They know what they're doing. They know that they're shelling civilian targets. I mean, they cannot use the excuse they're just following orders or they're just firing into the sunset. That was put out a few weeks ago. But it's looking that way. It's looking like Russia is not evolving, but regressing and becoming more barbaric. This is really going to have an effect on them for an eternity. History is not going to remember this kindly, and even if they lift sanctions due to some negotiated settlement, I believe that companies and people will take it upon themselves to personally boycott Russia as much as possible and put pressures on companies not to buy Russian materials, Russian supplies, or at least try to get off of it slowly and steadily. So this is really putting them on the wrong track. If Putin wanted a legacy, this is exactly the wrong way to have done it. Also, the analysts are saying that the Russians are really pushing for this land bridge to Crimea, through Mariupol. That's why they are putting so much energy on Mariupol. They want to surround the Azov Sea and have a way by land to Crimea, and they want to secure that. So Mariupol, Kherson are right now probably the real focal points of the Russian strategy, and they're just gonna go crazy for that. Do whatever they can to get it. I wanted to comment about this Russian yacht in Norway. This is kind of an interesting story. There is an oligarch, and he's not on the yacht himself, but he has like a British crew. The captain is actually a former Royal Marine, and there's 17 foreign Western crew members, and the Norwegians are refusing to refuel it, and they're claiming it's discrimination because the yacht's not on a sanction list. But this is just what I talked about earlier before. People are taking it upon themselves, and Norwegian gas stations can't have a right to pick and choose their customers, so they're refusing to fuel the yacht because the owner is connected to Putin, but he's not on the list. But I think they need to be more direct. Anyone who's made money working with Putin should be sanctioned. But I'm glad that the Norwegians have sensibility not to fuel this yacht. And this crew, instead of crying discrimination and everything, should be asking, should say, hey, we quit, and ask the Norwegians for a new job. There's a lot of jobs in Norway. And this British Royal Marine, who's a boat captain, I'm sure he can find something very lucrative on another yacht or even in commercial shipping of some sort, if he's got those qualifications. I'm pretty sure that he would get a job opening. They should be taking the opposite thing. They should just be abandoning that ship. And if anything, so yeah, that's just my opinion. People were asking me what I thought about that. Thought about that Russian yacht thing, but that's the marketplace. That's a libertarian's marketplace at work. That you don't have to do business with people. If you don't want to. It's a two-way street, and it's not really discrimination. It's not discrimination at all. If a guy is a billionaire and you don't want to give him some gas, that's a different story. One of the comments below were talking about in yesterday's video, we're talking about the cancel culture, and I sort of agree with him. Like these Russian cultural events, like Russian ballets and stuff. This is. And I saw something about canceling Yuri Gagarin, the first man that they put in space. We cannot rewrite history. The Soviets were the first to put a man in space and the first to launch a satellite. And I hope they don't rewrite that. I mean, that's just a fact whether we like it or not. And I hope all this hysteria doesn't distort what really happened in the past. The circumstances around it and all of these things, that's another issue. That's two different things, what actually happened and the circumstances around that happened. So history has to be recorded correctly. I like the Swan Lake Ballet. That was, I believe, written by a Russian um, composer or something many decades ago or centuries ago. I don't really remember. I saw it in Oslo, and it was a Moscow ballet. Now, I agree that probably the Moscow ballet shouldn't be traveling and shouldn't be allowed. But if an American or English or a French ballet company wants to perform a Russian dance, they need to acknowledge it properly that the artwork was from this Russian artist, in the 1920s. That won't help anything to just totally black that out. But I do agree with not filling up Russian boats with gas, and I do believe in seizing assets and freezing accounts. And I do believe that people have the right to refuse business to Russian nationals, in this time and age. So anyway, that's where I stand on that. So yeah, that's all I have. I got to get ready for going to the center today and tomorrow. I was in the gym yesterday at 9, so I'll go again tomorrow. I'm going every other day. Today is take a nice long walk, mix it up a little bit, mix up the exercise, and then do my office work, sit in the chair, and you know you know in the afternoons, and do my IT work. But anyway, I hope you all have a nice day and be as productive as possible. And I like your comments. Maybe we can set up a live stream and just chat. I like talking about all these things. So take care. Bye-bye.